Hey everyone, welcome to our live YouTube watch along. We are getting ready for another huge Champions League night for Manchester United's women's team. They're over in Italy getting ready to face Juventus, whereas I'm in a warm, comfy Old Trafford studio, which is going to be our watch along base for today. The first thing I've got to tell you is make sure you like and subscribe and get in the chat. Tell me where you're from, how you're watching the game, who you're watching it with, and also you're with us for this watch-along party that we're going. I'm not on my own though, because I have got two wonderful guests with me. First of all, I've got Aoife Mannion, who is you're part of the furniture for these watch-alongs now, you are. Former Manchester United player, but also Newcastle too. I mean, how excited are you for this game?
I'm really looking forward to the game tonight. I think United have done so well to get into the qualifying stages of the Champions League, and it would be brilliant for them to finish on a good note and try and get a seeded spot. I know there's a permutation where they can get in top four. It doesn't seem like a given, but wouldn't it be great if the team could get into a seeded spot for the qualifiers in February?
I mean, it would be huge. And also, we have got the lovely Lauren Beckford with us. Now, if you don't know, Lauren was part of one of the originals Manchester United Women's Academy. You were part of really that OG Academy group, which is incredible to hear. And I would also argue she could be the best footballer that's in the Webber household because Lauren is also the sister to Danny Webber of the show. I've got to roast him at some stage in his life, haven't I? That's my job. But how excited are you to make your MUTV debut?
Do you know what? I'm really excited. I mean, when you asked me, I was thinking, oh gosh, it'd be something really different for me, but I'm looking forward to it. And watching women's football, or even football in general, I can't complain. Looking forward to it.
I mean, you live and breathe football.
I do.
I mean, football's been a huge part of your life, but United was.
Yes.
Which is why I have to show you these pictures to look at a little Lauren Beckford here. Look at how adorable this is. I love it, but how amazing were the coaches and everything when you were part of that group?
Do you know what? I think I speak to a couple of my friends and players that played with in those days, and they were literally the best moments of my football career, I'd say. It literally was just the best thing. Watching my brother play on the sideline, my dad played, my uncle played, so football's kind of just part of me. So now to be able to actually work here as well. And also, I'm actually working as a bit of an analyst now on the women's game. So I'm just trying to get in there and find my feet a little bit, because for me, I just think being part of the women's game is really important. And yeah, loving it.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm going to definitely chat to you about your analyst skills here, because you currently are that for Wigan Athletics women's team. This is the first women's team that's under their official club umbrella as well. So a great season, an exciting one that you're part of.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, because we're having to start off fresh. We're starting in those lower leagues, so you kind of trying to almost find your feet a little bit. But the coach, Danielle, she's been brilliant with me and just helping me find my feet in the role as well, not asking for maybe too much, but also from the players' side, they've been sort of talking to me and asking me certain things that they want to see and things like that. But when you're doing that role by yourself, I don't think you realise how much a lot of time it takes to go through the analysis of a game when you're actually watching it, filming it, but then afterwards you've got to watch it again. You clip up all these little sections of the game, and yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of effort, but I really enjoy it, so yeah, it's good.
You know what, I'm going to really enjoy the fact that I have got two analysts right next to me for this game then, because Eva's going to be all over that tactics board, Loz is going to be on it, but we're not just the only ones that are doing the work here. We have got people on the ground in Juve. So I have to confess, as we were genuinely preparing for a bit of a plan B for today, because we were thinking, is Ben Ibsen going to be watching outside with a cheeky scoop of gelato after some accreditation drama? I can officially confirm, though, he is in the stadium. So, Ben, was it worth the wait?
Yeah, well, you've got a point. I mean, it is worth the wait, but now you've said gelato, I would love some gelato to watch the football. Might be a bit cold for it, but still would be amazing. But no, worth the wait, because what an incredible stadium this is. I was actually stood here in this exact point with Mark Skinner last night, and I said to him, does the pitch look a little bit small to you? Because here the stands are so steep. They're really on top of the pitch, as they are in most European stadiums. But he said he measures the size of the pitch based on where the 18-yard box finishes and then to the edge of the pitch, which, if you're looking at it, it's not too much difference tonight. But what a game we have. Juventus versus Manchester United. The hosts have been in brilliant form recently. They're unbeaten in their last 7 matches, and they've actually scored in every Champions League game they've played in so far this season. As United, they probably conceded more goals than they would have hoped to recently. They've conceded 19 in their last 7. But Mark's named a really strong team tonight. He's hoping this team can go and get the 3 points here and finish in a higher position. And hopefully when the draw comes around tomorrow, we might just get one of those teams that are down near the bottom end. I'll be interested to hear what you guys think about the draw tomorrow, or who you hope we might get.
Thanks for that, Ben. I hope you do get your gelato at some point, but you need to let us know what flavour, if that's going to be the case. But now, when we're thinking about this game, there is a little light show currently going on. That stadium, people will think it's always such a huge pitch, but one of the biggest things that Mark said, Aoife, is that pitch is actually narrower than what you'd expect.
Interesting. I was actually there a few years ago. It was the Women's Champions League final in Turin at that stadium, and I can't remember what it looked like, but I just remember the atmosphere being incredible. So to see that light show, it feels really, really fitting for a Champions League fixture. And I think with the United girls having played so many times at Old Trafford, I think the atmosphere will be like water off a duck's back for them. I think they're going to be really used to it. But as a fan sitting on the couch, it is nice to see.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well, now let's have a little look at the teams for tonight's game to see what we have in action today. We're going to start off with Manchester United. Now, there is a few changes again to Manchester United women's team. And if you don't know already, as we have said before, we have already qualified for the next stage. There's a few games that we could miss in a good way if we get into top 4, but it is unlikely. It would be a Christmas miracle if that was to happen with the different results. We'd be relying on other people. But biggest talking point is that Jade Riviere is out of tonight's game. She suffered a knock against Spurs at the weekend. She's out of action. So this is where you're getting curious of Anna Sandberg and how Gabby George will play in those roles. And now let's have a look at Juventus as well. So they have been solid in Europe. We always talk about the attacking threat of Girelli whenever we talk about Juve and how well they have been doing. It looks like as well, especially in comparison to domestic form, they're really focusing on this Champions League, and they currently sit 4th in the Champions League table. So it could be an exciting game and definitely a tough one for us. They're only ahead of Real Madrid by 1 goal scorer here too. Now, Juve's record against English visitors is that they've drawn 1 and they've lost 2, with 2 goals scored and 7 conceded. So let's see what's going to happen here. But now, we do want to hear from our gaffer ahead of tonight's game, so Ben caught up with Mark Skinner a little earlier on.
So Mark, here we are, our final league phase game in the Champions League. Juventus are our opponents. How are you feeling? What are you expecting?
I'm expecting a very tough opponent. Look, this is an iconic stadium with fantastic history. And look, we want to create some of our own tonight. We're playing against a very, very good team. Different style to what we're used to. So they might block and counter. If we're clean with the ball, I think we'll cause them a lot of problems. So that's going to be our ask tonight. Be clean with the ball. But also, while we're attacking, we must be focused on defending. So getting our positions right. Again, those are going to be key to the game, honestly. I think, they attack very well. But I think we can exploit them in defence.
A few changes to the team. Of course, Jade makes way. It doesn't look to have made too much of an impact on that defence with Dom shifting over. And Jess is playing a more central position, which could be dangerous with her getting on the ball a little bit more and being more direct.
Yeah, I mean, Tunu was just a little bit under the weather as well. So we moved Jess inside. Lisa's come in to add legs and energy in the midfield. Just a little bit of rotation from the game Sunday. And Dom, comes into right side just because the way that Juventus they load chip balls to the back zone. So, we're just making sure that we focus on that as well, just to add that defensive stability in there. And then really just adds to our attacking qualities. Our front three are really aggressive. Jess in the pocket's really aggressive, and Lisa can join that. So I'm looking forward to how we adapt to the game and how we control the game. But more importantly, look, it's a shootout game for a higher position. And I'm really looking forward to what we can hopefully achieve tonight.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Mark there, and I think we're all excited to see what we could achieve tonight, because this is our infancy in the Champions League, and I think people forget that. I mean, for you, Loz, this must be a pinch moment to think how far Manchester United women's team have come, right?
Unbelievable. I think when I think back to when I was playing, I played at the Cliff, played at Littleton Road, and those days were special in itself, but to actually have the opportunity to play at Old Trafford in these big stadiums, unreal, absolutely. And you just look at it and you think, you know, they are pinch me moments, but also it's about just performing tonight. And for me, I think they've got enough to beat Juve, more than enough. So, like you said, it's a shootout, so we've just got to go for it.
Yeah, we just
Go
have
win
to.
the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. Beauty for them. I need to talk to you and get this tactics board involved, which I know you absolutely love.
This is my bribe to come on the show. Let me do one thing on the tactics board and I'm sold.
I'm so glad I said let's bring this in action for this, because honestly, I don't think I've ever seen Aoife smile as much whenever I mention this tactics board.
Makes me sound really grumpy.
No, you're happy all the time, always. But the biggest thing I think we were chatting about in the green room before this is that we said that Gabby George is left-footed, but it looks like at the minute, obviously the game hasn't kicked off yet, it looks like she'll be just a direct replacement for Jade Riviere. So with that, is there any difference in her game that you think she'll play, or maybe she might switch with the centre-half or anything like that?
Yeah, so it right back, it'll either be Dom Janssen shifting over or Gabby George, like you say. I think Mark alluded that it might be Dom, but either way, they're a different profile to Jade. Jade in and of herself is a massive loss. Like, every time I get on the tactics board, I'm, you know, showing everyone how high she gets and how that lets the winger, when it's been Jess Park, roll inside to the midfield. But I think with Dominic Janssen or Gabby George at right back, there'll be more of a defensive profile. And what that will give is Melvine Mallard on that right wing, who is still the top goal scorer, I think, for United at the moment. That'll give her freedom to really own all of those spaces out wide. So I think we'll see a different type of play on the right side, and I think it'll be really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Now let's get some of these comments in on YouTube. As I said, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. If you do that, then we will be able to read out all your comments. We'll do shout outs left, right and centre for this, because you're with us for the whole game. We're basically doing this huge watch party together. So first of all then, we have got Devils0710 that says, come on United. We've got Brian Green, 5645, that says, I'm predicting 4-1 to United. So that's a big score prediction there, isn't it? I mean, you're confident. Clearly, you know, Matt Skinner's been talking to you as well, because that sounds exciting. We've got Daisy McKennan says, come on United. Rebecca Ann Jarvis says, I'm really relying on the watch-along for match updates and scores, as that's my only way to know what's happening at the match. Well, don't worry, we will keep you updated, and we'll have a chat whilst it's going on, because it's what I said for these games. They're always really fun. Let's have a look and see. And then, yes, so the biggest thing that you need to do is that, I'm just having a look here and see, we've got Joseph Arthur 9791 that says, we are winning 3-0 tonight, glory, glory, Man United. There's some big score predictions coming in here.
Yeah,
Well, I hope so.
yeah. I mean, I
It
love
works
the
like that.
confidence.
Yeah.
There's really big confidence. Yeah, so we've also got, so anyone that's watching on the men's channel, make sure you switch over to the women's channel at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. is when you can tune in to us. So make sure you do it, because it might not automatically do it, but we want you with us the whole time. So please make sure you go and do it. But yeah, like and subscribe, put in any shout outs that you want and we'll read them out. And also let us know where you are watching from in the comments, and we will be looking forward to hearing from it. So yeah, give us a shout. Tell us where you are. We've got plenty of people. We've also got Scott Lawson as well, straight out of Canterbury watching this. Huge love to you. But yeah, we have got some great people watching us. But before this game kicks off, score predictions from both of you.
My score prediction, I think it will be 2-1 United. I'm not as big with my scoreline. The reason is, the last game they played, they drew 3-3 against Lyon and went 3-0 up. This is Lyon, one of the best teams in Europe, and they scored 5 or 6 against St Polten, albeit probably the lowest team in the Champions League in the last fixture. So I think that Juventus deserve the respect. So I'm going to go 2-1 United.
It's a little frustrating because I was literally going to say the same thing.
Oh,
only- only because- no,
I'll change mine.
no.
I'll change mine. Right, we'll do that again. Zara, I'm going to go. I'm just going to have a think. I'm going to go 2-0 United. Loz, what are you going to go?
Go 2-1. Go 2-1.
I knew this would be a good pairing.
Well, I'm just thinking, just with 2-1 as well, it just, for me, I think we do have enough to beat them, but defensively,